This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 train. The next stop is
Wall Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Wednesday, August 14th. This is Not Your Advisor with NYU Grad. Let's get into today's session. I believe I got most of half of what I said yesterday correct on what would unfold today. But let's jump right into it. Let's quickly look at the top of the format here and deep dive into breadth numbers. So across the NYSE, we had 364 new highs versus 192 new lows. 52% of stocks were advancing versus 44% declining. 50% of stocks were below their 50-day, and 38% of stocks were below their 200-day moving average. Fairly muted session across the board on the Mag 7. What really stuck out was the outperformance of the Dow Industrials. You had 23 of the Dow 30 green, and names like American Express, Home Depot, and others all were rallying on the session fairly strong, making up that outperformance on the Dow today. So just kind of peeling the onion here, I want to point out something when I talk about the Dow 30. Whenever you see like names like American Express, Home Depot, Colgate, like P&G, who makes Colgate toothpaste, outperforming the Mag 7 and the semiconductor group, that typically means big money is going into safety. They're rotating into safety. So this morning, the CPI numbers came out, and I said yesterday it's going to basically print the headline, what you would expect the headline to read, saying basically, CPI is a little bit south and it's getting under control. But Bill Cara had a good post, and I'm going to quote him. Over the past 100 years, the average annual CPI, as reported by the U.S. government, has been much higher than 2%, and the economy has grown just fine. In my view, the Fed uses CPI as another banking cartel control tool, end quote, by Bill Cara. And I agree. All of these job data, CPI data, GDP reports, all of it, they change the math and the formulas to suit whatever narrative they want to paint. And we rallied today, but keep in mind, it wasn't such a strong rally in tech or the risk areas. It was a stronger rally in toothpaste, credit cards, tools at Home Depot, things of that nature. Just to give you more flavor of what was up today on the Dow, you had American Express, Home Depot, Travelers, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, United Health, Procter & Gamble, Walt Disney, Walmart, IBM, Microsoft, 3M, Honeywell, Visa, Chevron, McDonald's, Verizon. Those were what was lifting the markets today. Not so much tech names. And I'll give you more deep dive. So Microsoft was up 0.69%. Apple was up a whopping 0.2%. Google down 2.3%. Meta down 0.34%. Amazon down 0.08%. So not a big deal. They're pretty much all like break even except for Google and Tesla. Tesla was down 3%. Nvidia was up 1.6%. So the complexion of the day was rotation into safety under the guise of the narrative story. Hey, the Fed has inflation under control. You can expect a Fed rate cut come September, baby. And that's basically the narrative. There was a headline that I saw that basically said the same thing. I'll read the headline to you. Inflation falls below 3% for the first time since 2021. Consumer prices rose 2.9% in the year through July, a downtick from the prior month. The report keeps the Federal Reserve firmly on track to cut interest rates next month. Read all about it, extra. So that's the narrative. But I'm telling you, today's action was not that great. I do suspect we are going to see a sell-off. I actually expected it today, but they slow motion ramped stocks today. It wasn't like what I had expected was a quick ramp right after the CPI report. Oh, everything's great. Inflation is under control. I thought we were going to get just like the Dow was up like 300 points. I was expecting like the NASDAQ and the S&P to also rally very, very hard, and they didn't. It was mostly the Dow. So I do suspect in the next few sessions, we will see a sell-off unless the other tech shares and semiconductors all catch up to the Dow 30 names. So let me go over what was strong, what was weak, and I'll let the free members go. You had names that were strong like AppLovin up 6%, Ferrari up 4.8%, Extreme Networks 3.8%, CrowdStrike 3.2%, Zscaler 3%, Dell up 3.01%, and Energy Transfer up 2.5%. What was weak? Volatility index down 10.6%, Etsy 4.7%, Wayfair 4.5%, MicroStrategy 3.7%, Hims and Hers 3.4%, Tesla 3.1%, as I mentioned, Carvana 3%, Natural Gas Futures 2.7%, Kura Sushi 2.6%, Riot 2.4%. I'll post these in the show notes. Free members, continue to watch the Mag 7, the 10-year yield, bonds, and let's see what happens with prices as we bump up against long-term moving averages above, mostly the 50-day moving average right above us, as well as some of these gaps from the sell-off from last Monday. Free members, please stay on. Premium members, please stay on. Free members, I will see you all after the Thursday session. That's my train.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.